The florist called to confirm the final count for the bouquets, and I realized I'd been staring at the Instagram story for 5 minutes, watching her and Brian laughing in some wine bar downtown, while she told me she was working late on the quarterly audit. Hey friends, please subscribe and turn on notifications, like this video, and leave a comment with your impressions. This will be a great help. Thank you. We never tire of reminding you. It's all thanks to you. It was early October in Charlotte, and the leaves were just starting to turn. I'm 41, been working as a supply chain analyst for a pharmaceutical distribution company for the past 9 years. Solid job, good benefits, the kind of steady career that doesn't make for interesting dinner conversation but pays the bills, and then some. My fiancée Lauren was 38, a senior financial analyst at a regional bank headquartered uptown. We'd been together 3 years, engaged for 7 months, living together in a 2-bedroom condo in South End that we'd been renting for the past year and a half. That Wednesday started like any other. Alarm at 6, coffee by 6:15, out the door by 7:30. Lauren was usually up by 6:30, but that morning she was already in the shower when I woke up. I could hear the water running, smell her expensive shampoo, the one that cost $30 a bottle and came in the minimalist packaging. When she came out, she was wearing a dress I hadn't seen before. Black, professional but fitted, paired with heels that seemed too nice for a regular office day. I asked if she had a presentation. She was doing her makeup in the bathroom mirror, didn't look at me when she answered. Said no, just felt like dressing up. Sometimes you need to feel put together, she said. I got that. Told her she looked great. She smiled, kissed my cheek, left a lipstick mark I had to wipe off before my own morning meeting. Over the next few days, I started noticing small things. She was staying late at the office more than usual. 3 times that week she texted around 5 saying she'd be home after 8, something about month-end closing procedures taking longer than expected. When she did get home, she seemed distracted, checked her phone constantly, angled the screen away when I walked past. Thursday night, I suggested we order from that Thai place she liked, and she said she wasn't hungry, she'd grabbed something at the office. Friday evening I got home around 6, and she wasn't there. No text, no note, nothing. I called her. It went to voicemail. Tried again 20 minutes later, same thing. Finally around 7:30, I got a text. Out with some colleagues. Be home later. Don't wait up. She came in after 11. I was still awake, watching a basketball game on the couch. She dropped her purse by the door, kicked off her heels, didn't make eye contact. Where were you? I asked. I told you. Work people. Which work people? She went to the kitchen, poured herself water. Does it matter? I'm just curious. Some folks from the investment division. They wanted to grab drinks after a long week. I nodded. Didn't push it. But something felt off. Saturday morning I was making eggs when she came downstairs in jeans and a sweater, hair done, makeup on. Weekend makeup, the kind that says you're going somewhere but trying to look casual about it. I'm meeting up with Brian this afternoon, she said, pouring coffee. I set down the spatula. Brian. Yeah, you remember, I told you about him. We dated for like a year back when I was in grad school. I remembered. She'd mentioned him exactly once, maybe 18 months ago, in the context of a story about her MBA program. I hadn't thought about him since. Okay, what's going on with that? She leaned against the counter. He reached out a few weeks ago. He's in Charlotte now, took a job with one of the big consulting firms downtown. We've been chatting a little, just catching up on life. He suggested coffee. A few weeks ago, I said. Yeah. And you're just mentioning this now. She gave me a look like I was being unreasonable. It's not a big deal. We're just 2 old friends getting coffee. I don't need to give you a full report every time I make plans. I'm not asking for a full report. But your ex-boyfriend reaches out, you've been talking for weeks, and you wait until the day of to mention it. That seems worth bringing up earlier. This is exactly why I didn't tell you. I knew you'd make it weird. I'm not making it weird. I'm pointing out that it's weird you didn't tell me. She set her coffee cup down harder than necessary. Look, this is my personal business. My friendship. My history. You don't get to control who I talk to or when I see them. That's not how this works. I felt something shift in my chest. Not anger. Something colder. I don't get to control it. No, you don't. I'm allowed to have parts of my life that are separate from you. That's healthy. That's normal. I looked at her for a long moment. When's coffee? 2 o'clock. I'll be back before dinner. Where are you meeting? Why? Just asking. She grabbed her purse. Summit Coffee Roasters. The one on Central Avenue. Have a good time, I said. She left at 1:30. I stood in the kitchen after the door closed and thought about what she'd said. You don't get to control who I talk to. I'm allowed to have parts of my life that are separate from you. The words kept echoing. Here's what Lauren didn't know. 6 weeks earlier, we'd put down deposits on our wedding. Venue, a historic estate outside the city, $4,500. Catering, another $6,000. Photographer, $2,000. Band, $1,500. Florist, $800. Total deposits, $15,700, split evenly between us. The wedding was set for next April, 6 months away. Everything was booked. Everything was moving forward. I went to my laptop and opened the folder where I kept all the vendor contracts. Started reading through them. The venue had a cancellation policy. Full refund if you canceled more than 6 months out. 50% refund between 3 and 6 months. Nothing after that. We were exactly 6 months and 1 week from the wedding date. I pulled out my phone, found the venue coordinator's number, called. Her name was Michelle. She was cheerful, professional. I told her I needed to discuss our contract, specifically the cancellation terms. She pulled up our file. I asked what would happen if one party wanted to cancel. She said if both parties agreed to cancel, we'd get the 50% refund. If only one party wanted out, it got complicated. The canceling party would forfeit their portion of the deposit. The other party could proceed with the venue for a smaller event or cancel and take the 50%. I thanked her and hung up. Called the caterer next. Similar policy. Then the photographer, the band, the florist. By the time I was done, I had a clear picture. If I canceled everything today, I'd lose about $4,000 of my deposits. The rest I could get back. If Lauren wanted to keep the vendors for a smaller event or a different wedding, that was her choice. I started drafting emails. Kept them simple, professional. Dear Michelle, due to unforeseen personal circumstances, I need to withdraw from the April 12th wedding contract. Please cancel my portion of the reservation and process the appropriate refund. Thank you for your understanding. I sent them all. Venue, caterer, photographer, band, florist. Got automated replies within minutes. Real replies within hours. Michelle responded first. I'm so sorry to hear this. I'll process your cancellation on Monday and send the refund check within 10 business days. Then I started packing. I went through the condo methodically. Took only what was definitively mine. Clothes, my laptop, books I'd brought into the relationship, the watch my father gave me, the framed photo of my college graduation, my kitchen knives, the coffee grinder I'd bought before we moved in together. Left all the furniture we'd picked out together, the decorations, the shared stuff. Made 4 trips to my car, loading boxes into the trunk and back seat. By the time Lauren got home at 6:15, I had everything staged by the door. She walked in, saw the boxes, froze. What's happening? I'm leaving, I said. She set her purse down slowly. You're leaving? Yeah. Because of coffee with Brian? I also canceled the wedding. You'll get emails from the vendors on Monday. I withdrew my half of all the deposits. You can keep them and plan something else or cancel and get your refunds. Up to you. Her face went white. You canceled our wedding. My half of it, yes. You can't do that. Already done. This is insane. You're having some kind of breakdown. I picked up a box. I'm not having a breakdown. I'm making a choice. Over what? Over me having coffee with a friend. Over you telling me I don't get to be part of your life. Over you talking to your ex for weeks without mentioning it. Over you making it very clear this morning that I'm not someone you need to include in your decisions. She stepped closer. I didn't say that. You said this is your personal business, your friendship, your history. You said I don't get to control who you talk to. You're right. I don't. And you don't get to have me waiting around while you figure out if I'm still what you want. That's not what's happening. I carried the box to my car. Came back for another one. She followed me. Where did you even get this idea? We had one conversation this morning, and now you're moving out and canceling our wedding. I saw your Instagram story, I said. Last night. You and Brian at Foxcroft Wine Bar. The one you posted at 9:30. While you were supposedly out with colleagues. She went very still. So he's been in Charlotte longer than a few weeks. I continued. And last night wasn't the first time you've seen him. And this afternoon wasn't going to be coffee. It was going to be whatever the next step is in whatever you two have been building. It wasn't like that. What was it like? She didn't answer. I loaded another box. The rent here is $2,200 a month. Lease is in both our names, but I'll talk to the landlord about removing me. You'll need to cover it yourself or find a roommate. The utilities are split between our accounts. I'll call Monday and take my name off everything. You're just going to leave me here? You told me this morning you're allowed to have parts of your life separate from me. I'm giving you what you wanted. Complete separation. I didn't want this. Then what did you want? She started crying. I don't know. I got confused. Brian showing up brought back all these memories, and I got caught up in the attention, and I made some stupid choices. But it doesn't mean anything. I love you. I want to marry you. When's the last time you saw him? She wiped her eyes. Last night was the second time. And how long have you been talking? 3 weeks. Maybe a month. And when were you planning to tell me? I don't know. I thought it would just fizzle out, and I wouldn't need to. I picked up the last box. That's the problem right there. You thought you could keep this whole separate thing going, and I'd never need to know. You wanted to see where it went without giving up what we had. I'm not interested in being someone's backup plan while they explore other options. You're not a backup plan. Then why did you lie about where you were last night? Why did you hide him for a month? Why did you tell me this morning I don't get to be part of your personal business? She didn't have an answer. I put the last box in my car. I'll be staying at an extended stay for now. I'll come back next week for anything I missed. Please don't make this harder than it is. This is crazy. You're throwing away 3 years over a misunderstanding. It's not a misunderstanding. It's you making a choice and me responding to it. I got in my car and left. Checked into an extended stay near the airport. Spent the weekend looking at apartments. Found a 1-bedroom in Noda, available November 1st, smaller than what I wanted but affordable on my salary alone. Put down a deposit Monday morning. Started the paperwork to get my name off the condo lease. Lauren called 17 times over the next 4 days. I didn't answer. Tuesday she texted, "We need to talk about this like adults. You're being childish." I didn't respond. Wednesday evening someone knocked on my hotel room door. I looked through the peephole. It was her best friend Ashley. I didn't open it. She knocked for 5 minutes, then left. Thursday I got an email from Lauren's father. Subject line, disappointed. The message said he'd always respected me, thought I was good for his daughter, but walking out without working through problems wasn't the man he thought I was. He hoped I'd reconsider. I didn't reply. Friday the vendor refunds started hitting my account. Venue, $2,200. Caterer, $3,000. Photographer, $1,000. Band, $750. Florist, $400. Total recovered, $7,350. I'd lost about $4,000, but I was out. The condo landlord was understanding. Said he'd let me off the lease if Lauren could prove she could cover the rent on her own or if she found a qualified co-signer. She ended up getting her parents to co-sign. I got the release paperwork 2 weeks later. I moved into the Noda apartment November 2nd. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, decent kitchen, walking distance to bars and restaurants I'd probably never use because I was too tired after work. But it was mine. Just my name on the lease. Just my stuff in the space. 3 weeks went by. Work was busy. Thanksgiving happened. I drove to Raleigh to spend it with my sister and her family. Didn't mention the breakup much. Just said it didn't work out. We wanted different things. My sister didn't push. Early December, I was at the Harris Teeter near my apartment, picking up groceries on a Saturday afternoon. Turned down the produce aisle, and there was Brian. I recognized him from the Instagram story. Tall, expensive haircut, wearing running clothes like he'd just finished a workout. He was with a woman I didn't recognize, blonde, younger looking. His hand was on her lower back. He saw me the same moment I saw him. His face did this thing where he clearly knew who I was even though we'd never met. He steered the woman toward the registers without making eye contact. I grabbed my apples and kept shopping. The next day, Lauren called from a number I didn't recognize. I answered without thinking. "Did you see him yesterday?" she said. "See who?" "Brian. At the grocery store. With someone else." "I saw someone," I said. Didn't realize who it was until he ran away. She was crying. He's been seeing her the whole time. Since before he even moved to Charlotte. He was just testing whether I was still interested, whether he could still get me to respond. That's unfortunate. I ruined everything. The wedding. Us. My whole future. For someone who was using me. That was your choice to make. I'm so sorry. I know I don't deserve to ask, but can we try again? I miss you. I know what I had and I threw it away, and I'll regret it forever. No, I said. Just like that. Just like that. What we had is over. You can't rebuild it by apologizing after everything fell apart. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. You made a series of choices. You chose to hide him. You chose to lie about where you were. You chose to tell me I didn't get to be part of your personal life. Those weren't mistakes. Those were decisions. And I'm making a decision now. I'm done. She was quiet for a moment. So that's it. 3 years, and you just walk away. You walked first, I said. I just made it permanent. She hung up. I heard through mutual friends that she'd moved out of the condo in January. Couldn't afford it even with her parents co-signing. The memories were too hard. She got a studio in University City, cheaper rent, longer commute. Apparently she'd been struggling at work too, missed a deadline on a major project, got put on a performance improvement plan. I felt bad about that part. I didn't want her to suffer. But I also knew I'd made the right call. It's March now, 5 months gone. I'm still in the Noto apartment. Started seeing someone new, a woman named Jennifer I met through a running group. We're taking it slow, no big commitments, just enjoying each other's company. It's nice, uncomplicated. 2 weeks ago, I was at Amelie's, the French bakery that's open 24 hours, grabbing coffee on a Sunday morning. I was waiting for my order when Lauren walked in. She was alone, looked tired, wearing yoga clothes and no makeup. She saw me immediately, walked over. Hi. Hi, I said. You look good. Thanks. You too. It wasn't entirely true, but it seemed like the kind thing to say. I'm doing better, she said. Therapy mostly. Working through why I self-sabotage good things. That's good. I'm glad you're getting help. Are you seeing anyone? Yeah. Nothing serious yet, but it's good. She nodded. Looked down at her hands. I wanted to say I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not because I want you back. I know that ship has sailed. But because you deserved better than what I gave you. I appreciate that, I said. I hope things work out with the new person. Thanks. They called my order. I grabbed the coffee, gave Lauren a small nod, and left. Walked back to my apartment, sat on the couch, felt nothing but relief that we could run into each other, and it didn't have to be painful anymore. She texted later that day. It was good to see you. I mean that. I didn't respond. Didn't need to. The thing about boundaries is they're not about punishing people. They're about knowing what you will and won't accept in your life, and having the discipline to enforce those limits even when it hurts. Lauren wanted to keep her options open while keeping me on hold. I chose myself instead. And 5 months later, I'm in a better place than I would have been if I'd stayed and tried to fix something that was already broken. So that's the story. If you've ever had to walk away from someone who wanted you to wait while they figured out if you were enough, I'd like to hear how you handled it. Leave a comment below.